Please, the weather forecast for today, according to the National Meteorological Service. A slight increase in moisture is expected later tonight and tomorrow. The 24-hour forecast is for mostly sunny today, becoming cloudy at times this afternoon and tonight, with showers being isolated at first and increasing to a few showers or some periods of rain tonight and tomorrow morning, mainly along central and coastal areas. Winds will be northwesterly at 5 to 10 knots, becoming north to northwesterly later on at 5 to 15 knots. Sea stay light chop to choppy. Looking at the temperatures, highs today along the coast of 85 degrees Fahrenheit or 29 degrees Celsius, with an overnight low of 73 degrees Fahrenheit or 23 degrees Celsius. Inland a high of 89 degrees Fahrenheit or 32 degrees Celsius. Overnight low of 65 degrees Fahrenheit or 18 degrees Celsius. And the outlook for Thursday and Thursday night, cloudy at times, few showers, some periods of light rain. Finally, the tide readings, high tide today at 6:13 this morning will be followed by a low tide at 12:28 this afternoon. A high reoccurs at 6:33 tonight, and then a low tide tomorrow at 1:21. That is your general weather forecast. And now we've got your morning news update.
The first private radio station in Belize since 1989, Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
An audit from the Belize Defense Force connects Lieutenant Colonel Charlton Roches to several questionable transactions. Roches is the majority shareholder in Belize Jungle Experience Limited, and the audit revealed payments being made to his company for the German Army to receive jungle training and exercises. In the report, the recommendation is made for them to seek advice from the Financial Intelligence Unit to find out if, in fact, any criminal or civil offenses have been committed. Following the discovery, a response from Acting Commander Colonel Steve Ortega was sought, and on Friday he responded by saying, quote, "The matter is still under investigation," end quote. Some of the payments made to Roches include a $5,000 payment for transportation on May 20th, 2016, and an invoice for $152,442 for F4 Cell Jungle course for members of the German Army on July 1st, 2016. One of the major issues raised in the report is the fact that as staff member of the BDF, Roches' private business appears to be a direct conflict of interest, particularly since his company's memorandum of association states nothing about providing the services that he had been contracted by the BDF to provide. As it presently stands, Belize Jungle Experience Limited is to deal with land development management and sales. According to Acting Commander Ortega, Roches is currently on leave. A 37-second video has surfaced capturing what can only be described as a cowardly act by two men. The video, dated November 27th, shows two Caucasian women casually walking on King Street just past Teddy's Music Store, heading in the direction of Albert Street at 1 minute past 10 o'clock when two men on separate bicycles approached them from behind. One of the culprits closest to the buildings on the right-hand side of King Street rides by and grabs the first woman's purse and rides away towards Albert Street, while the other culprit had to stop and relieve the other woman of her purse. The second woman attempted to put up a fight with the other, but he got off his beach cruiser and pushed her down to the street with the front wheel, and then he got back on his bicycle and rode away, contrary to the flow of traffic up King Street. The woman still proceeded to chase after the second culprit, but he got away. Yesterday, the video was forwarded to the police department's media group for comment, and we were told that no report has been made so far. The special sitting of the House of Representatives that was scheduled for this Friday has been postponed until further notice. This, following last week's judgment coming out of the Caribbean Court of Justice that orders Belize to pay more than $90 million to the Belize Bank for a debt incurred out of the controversial Universal Health Services loan note assumed by government. More than $57 million of that award is interest, and since the money would need to come out of the country's consolidated fund, it requires the approval of Parliament. It is a certainty that at the next sitting of the House, the Prime Minister, as directed by the ruling of CCJ, will table a motion to approve the appropriation bill. The original award was for $36 million, with interest accruing at 17% compounded on a monthly basis since 2012. And that is the end for your morning news update here inside the WB Wake Up Believes Morning Vibes. For more news, of course, throughout the day on Creme Radio, we kept you well fed. The morning stew's got multiple news updates. That's between 9 and 1 today. There's a news brief at 3 p.m. and a full newscast at 5:15 p.m. Creme Television's newscast is at 6 p.m. A small break, and then the main event. Ding, 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 ding.
Informative, accurate, current information. Creme's newscast. Local, regional, and international news. Weather and sports.
WB Wake Up Believes Morning Vibe, 6:46 in the morning, AM side of life. On this Wednesday morning, 29th November 2017. Most high till 9. Telephone numbers 222-4299 as well as 202-4409 and 202-4469. Those are the direct lines for you to link. You could check Facebook if you're not into being on the air and thing. You deal with it, Facebook side, WB, or email us, wbmorningvibes@gmail.com. First up, Mr. Torres. Even though he committed to being off the air until his financial situation stabilizes, still the man finds the credits to call. Could be sacrifice, it could be campaigning, I don't know.
No. Sacrifice, Brother Moore.
Sacrifice,
yes,
all right.
Brother Moore.
Campaign funds.
Yes, well, let me say good morning to all, Brother Moore. I know something you don't know, Brother Moore. Yes, I will give you a little hint. Slightly. Before I get into my meat. Yes. I have about more or less, I've gone through the calendar, and I have more or less about 60 more cards before my victory to WB Morning Vibes. I'm well ahead, Brother Moore.
Amen.
Yes, Brother Moore. You know, rumors on the street and homes, no? That very few of eyes will go in favor of approving to making good the 90 million. That's are the rumors that get out in the streets. Not on, I never saw much on television last night, but I hear some things. I thought it was on crime, but GSC know that, he says no, that the nation's leader will conduct a press show today. He will start the press show today. That's how I understand. So I never get much information. You know, from the beginning, when the 90 million in question was at 38 million, I could recall, then grab it to me, then grab the 30 or 36 million, something like that in question. Then grab it when we don't pay after the bank, and to share with the poor people, they used to call it that time the poor people money. That never for you yet, just the poor people money. But I'm not in memory for Brother Moore how it was distributed, but I can recall. And I used to save them clips, because I know the time may come that everything went come to light, but I just, when hurricane may come, and it destroyed a lot of me. Anyway, but if I am right, the one so-called housing and planning, understand, if I could recall, got one good stake, you see. This shows indeed, Brother Mose, that we are far behind in the auditing of public funds. Far behind. And when you add it...
You know, as you mentioned, Mr. Torres, modern day politicians should be well advised that there's no time for try doing history revision, because this time they don't like before time. Everything they on tape. You understand?
Okay.
Easy for them revise 50s and 60s and 70s and maybe even the 80s. But 90s and 2000, there's nothing you could revise because a lot of them things they on tape. The news people ain't got any tape for all the news. Enough we case we got tape from 2003. So that's from we how long we got tape.
Tape.
No, they tell you now about old newspaper because you know that the old newspapers are a more meticulous search process for people who are try to revise maybe the 70s and the 80s. But recent history very difficult because all a man have to do that, play back the tape and show you what the story is. It's like this kind of make a doctor the story. You can't really do that. You could try, but you could end up really look terrible.
But the tapes not show how the money go out.
But it shows it shows the history of the story as it emerges.
Can't say.
You feel me?
No. Not full ingredient.
What I am very concerned about, Mr. Torres.
Yes, Brother Moon.
There is a debate to be made apparently about whether we pay or we don't pay.
I hear you postponed at the house.
Well, there's going to be a press conference today, and based on what the news is saying is that the Prime Minister, because of the decision made in Cabinet, it appears that Cabinet decided yesterday that they will not pay. And so today's press conference, the PM is going to, at least unless there is some extraordinary flip, it will be presented to the country that Cabinet has decided that we will not pay. And from there, I guess they will, I don't know, but I would assume that they will still have to present it in the House, and then the ayes will have it, which means that the position of the government of Belize is that they are going to ignore the ruling of the CCJ. Now, that is a debate on itself.
Okay.
That's a whole debate.
Yeah.
One that we, the people who will pay, should have.
Oh, yes.
Should be very involved, and we have to be wise.
Continue with hard times.
I ask the Creator that our people and our honorable leaders are blessed with wisdom and long-term discretion, because it's a very, very, I would say, there is no
escape.
There is no win here. Meaning, I don't. There is no. I don't. There is. You know, play a part. You pick your poison. You could basically pick one poison, make you feel better about yourself, or you could pick one poison where you're just you kind of like have to do it with your tail between your legs. But
I like that one, brother.
But you're basically the pick poison. There's no wrong way around that.
Yeah.
But that's a debate.
Yeah, yeah.
And we have to have that.
Yeah.
But where I'm concerned, Mr. Torres,
yes, brother Moon,
is that it has now high-ranking members of this administration have publicly trashed the reputation of the CCJ.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. It is possible.
The one with here is it.
It is possible, Mr. Torres.
Yes, brother Moon.
I will quickly accept, because I am not a lawyer.
Okay.
But I will quickly accept that as human beings, no matter how qualified you are, you can be wrong.
Better when I have courts then.
So, allow me, Mr.
Yes,
Torres.
yes, brother Moon. Sorry, my bad.
The CCJ could be wrong. Listen, courts have been wrong.
I don't know.
We are human beings.
Yes.
And it's possible that the CCJ is an imperfect institution that is maybe it has people who have a flawed value and have flawed discretion, and the individuals on the CCJ are not up to the task. It's possible.
Favoritism?
But what is my concern, Mr. Torres?
Yes, Brother Moon.
As citizens in this country,
Yes.
the stability of our country is based on the rule of law.
Yes.
And the rule of law is backed by the judiciary.
Dictates the pace.
If you and I have a business transaction or a business situation,
Yes.
and we have an agreement, Mr. Torres, and
Yes.
we somewhere along that journey, we have a problem with each other.
Yes.
I say, Torres, you have done me wrong.
Yes.
And Torres, you say, no, 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 Mose, you have done me wrong.
Back and forth.
As civil, law-abiding citizens, I will not ambush you in the night and kill you dead.
No, 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 no.
What I will do is I will have to go
So,
to the court
yes.
to have them decide who is right and who is wrong.
Thank you.
And the fact that you and I will go there is based on the assumption and the confidence
Yes.
that what we will get there is wisdom, discretion, and fairness.
Yes. That is the purpose of the
That
court.
is how we can avoid
Democracy.
complete chaos.
That is correct.
We have that trust.
Yes.
So we go to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
And maybe at the level of the Supreme Court, I am dissatisfied. I say, you know what, I think that that judge got
Never
it
fair.
wrong.
It's never fair.
So to make sure that I can get another crack at it, another set of eyes, I then put my trust and confidence into the Court of Appeal.
Yes. Oh, yes, yes. You go by state. All right, all right.
So
I get
then
you.
you have, I think it is 3 esteemed judges, learned
Yes.
gentlemen. Or,
Yes.
it can be women, but I think they're all gentlemen at this time.
Yeah,
I
3
think,
hymns,
if I'm
no
not
harm.
mistaken.
Yeah.
And I put the matter to their wisdom. And I again have to have confidence that these people are competent, legitimate, wise, all these very
Yes.
good things.
Reasonable.
Then I again am dissatisfied with the result I get from them.
Yes, and
I can then proceed. I have the right now, because this is the way our judiciary is set up. We go then to the last place.
Last
It is the
resort.
highest court
Yes,
according to the laws of the land.
yes.
We go to the CCJ.
Uh-huh.
And now these excellent, wise, and fair, and learned individuals
Yes.
will make the final judgment between you and I, Mr.
Okay,
Torres.
yes. Yes, Brother Mo, yes, yes. I did follow.
And at that point in time when they rule, I have no other recourse. That's it. I have exhausted my options, and for the stability of the country, the laws of the land say, whatever ruling comes out of the CCJ, I must trust is legitimate, and then I have to comply with that.
Honor it.
I have to.
Yes.
So when the lawmakers in a country, essentially, now they can privately, in the confines and in the confidential corridors
Yes.
of the cabinet,
That is correct.
they could talk all what they want. They could talk about the judge Nema.
Not in public.
But when you publicly come
Yes.
out and you essentially say
Lightning.
that what we have as our last court is a court that is not up to the task.
Bias.
You are disturbing, in my humble opinion now.
You are right, Brother Moses.
More learned people than I can explain to me why that is not dangerous business. But
I'm with you, Brother Moses.
The state of the thing, the length or the limits of my understanding, I look at that, Mr. Torres, and I say, but that is dangerous to do.
Yeah.
No, I will gladly.
Destroying image.
In fact, I want people who are maybe because of experience, maybe because of knowledge, can say, Moses, we understand your concern with that, but we don't think that it's as bad as you might be fearing it is. But right now, until that point when I am brought up to the light, right now that looks kind of dangerous to do.
Completely out of order.
Because now, how do we settle affairs between each other?
Lose trust.
How do we deal with that if the lawmakers of the land are publicly saying that place that will decide who is right and wrong is not good?
Thank you.
So if you say it's not good, Mr. Torres, then what on earth do we do with the affairs that have to be settled by the judiciary?
Nothing.
And so now, how can then those lawmakers come and tell me that I must comply with rulings from out of the judiciary if they are saying the judiciary is not good and they are not going to comply with it? It just seems to me, Mr. Torres, until I am enlightened, that even though I accept fully, I accept fully. No, there's no Belizean that is of the opinion that we have not gotten the hardest, rough edge, longest, thickest bukut ever. They get no points for genius or for being bright to say that we have gotten the biggest, widest, longest, hardest bukut ever.
In the history of belief.
The suckling child knows that this is a bukut.
Yeah.
You understand?
I'm with you, Brother Moses.
So you are not telling us anything new.
No.
People know, we know it's a bukut from in the 2000s. We could see this bukut. What has happened is that the bukut only they get longer, thicker, and rougher.
Extend. Yeah.
So we don't need any brighty to tell us the obvious. Columbus, we know. Yeah. You don't discover anything. We know.
They landed here. They're not discovered.
That we are feel it. We don't need to tell we.
No.
We don't need to tell we.
No.
But what, as a citizen, and I'm just saying to my learned, honorable leaders, I am a bit concerned. I am troubled by what appears to be because you are looking to preserve
what you call
your own hide. No pun intended.
Yes.
You're looking to preserve your own hide. So now you might be disturbing the very infrastructure that at least maintains some level of stability in our society.
You start to grumble.
That is my concern, I know there's going to be a press conference today.
Yes.
And I am sure we are going to be schooled on the journey of UHS. Fair? We are going to, the bukut is going to be, every feature of the bukut is going to be explained. But for me, I think it is very critical. Now, maybe again, maybe in the wisdom of our leaders, they are not they do not think that it's as dangerous as I think it is.
Because they don't feel
But
the
at the very least, I would want an explanation as to why it is not dangerous for us to have lawmakers
Yes.
trashing the
I'm with you,
reputation
brother
of the CCJ.
Yeah. That's the worst part of it, indeed.
To me, Mr. Torres,
Yeah.
that is dangerous business.
Worse than the ruling.
It is dangerous.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. To, at least, again, I point out, and it's not because I'm trying to be false modest here.
No, you're real.
I
you're
really
real.
accept that maybe somebody out there can present a legitimate argument as to why I should not be troubled, and I sincerely am publicly soliciting
We want to feel the pinch.
that knowledge. But
Yeah.
for me, it's like I would be in a position now where I would be able to go now if I do not agree with the ruling that comes from the CCJ. I would be able, I don't know, but I would be able to say, well, Bahasa, I hear what the CCJ said. But remember, our highest political authority in the land has declared that the CCJ
No good.
is a wastebasket.
Waste of time.
That's what they're
Yeah.
declaring.
Yeah.
That the CCJ is a wastebasket, that they are incompetent, that their values are flawed and skewed in a way, and that they also have a bias. Boss, that is serious business. Like, I don't know what's going on here. I don't try to get points like for me. I think that you have institutions in this society that have to know, you have to speak up and say, well, where it go on?
Brother Mojo call that civil disobedience is in the increase.
Mm-hmm.
Then live with that mentality, you see. We for comply with laws, rules, accept them. That's it right there. You say the fever still remains.
Listen.
They need one authentic.
Listen, they can see that their disobedience with the CCJ comes out of their unabiding love for the people of Belize. Their
That is correct,
undying
brother.
love
That is correct.
for the people of Belize.
I am with you.
Their out of the fact that their empathy to and they feel with pain, and guess what? They are willing to be seen as insubordinate to the CCJ,
Okay.
to be renegades, but they will accept that label because of this love for us, and we would have to say to them, my goodness, you do love us. But when you simultaneously trash that institution and say that it's no good, and that is the court of last resort in this nation, I just see that as being
Something wrong.
that's
wrong.
something very, very
Yes, Brother
dangerous
Moses.
there.
Because if I make that the Supreme Court here locally, Brother Moses,
Yes, sir.
even from a bit, you never for Uganda, no court. A government sign, you take over, you have to comply. Point blank, you know what millions of crowns save, Brother Moses? Like the compensation thing with land, Brother Moses? 70 million gone there. How them could they approve those things? How they may accept those payments when ruled by our local courts with Supreme Courts and things? You're saying the disparity in approach to public funds?
Yeah.
You see, Brother Moses?
I want to call out to my lawyer friend. Please help me out. Tell me that what level of risk this is. Is this
You're right, they gone silent.
is this stage 1 risk? Is this stage 4 risk? What do we have here? Because honestly, I look at it, Mr. Torres, and it seems like you're running a very, very risky.
Yeah.
You're taking a very risky, reckless position to do so. I mean, if I get a ruling, and we have gotten rulings that we didn't like, and we got a ruling in the Supreme Court that we liked. We liked the Chief Justice and his ruling. And then we went to the appeals court and we did not like their ruling.
Yes.
We didn't have the money to go to the CCJ, so we had to accept the ruling of the appeals court. But we could not come here and throw any shade on the judges in the appeal court. That's the type of thing that's going to land you in Hattieville in a quick minute. You will end up as, you know, there's going to be a room for you in Hattieville when you throw shade. The contempt laws are there because I imagine they understood the need for public confidence in these individuals and in this institution of justice, that even if they have erred, public confidence is paramount, because that's how you maintain, that is the thin wall that separates us from absolute chaos. So they err on the side of caution, to say, listen, here where they go on. You can't talk about them people. One thing you could say, I disagree with the ruling, but when you go as far as to throw shade and to say that they are incompetent, that they are skewed with bias, that basically, in my view, seems very undermining of the credibility and opens Pandora's box. Like I say, in a private quarters, you could talk about a ma, about a granny, you could talk about incompetence, you could rate them across the court. But publicly, that seems to me like one road where we no business for the go on any at all. I accept I could be wrong. I accept that. It is possible. But it's a wrong that I would really like for somebody to point out how it is and why it is I am. And I'm sincerely saying that I would hope that in the press conference today, like, this matter be dealt with, because for me it's like, I am not trying to, I'm not bringing this up because I am trying to be hostile to the people who said it. I'm just saying what you said seems very, very, very dangerous. It seems very dangerous. You can make your argument of, and even the argument of saying you're not going to pay, in my view, again, is a slippery slope. Is a slippery slope. And just like everybody involved, they stink, and it's like trying to swallow shark oil. You know, it is extremely a repugnant smelling, tasting thing that is being forced upon us. I share your disgust, your displeasure. I share that. We all do. No believes here, and I think there's a brother who called in on Monday who said, this is not what I want to hear about right now. What the hell is this? None of we want to hear about that right now. We know the struggles where we go through as a nation, and the last thing we want to hear about this is the most unwelcome turn of events. So we share that with you, our leaders. But a lot is expected of those who lead. Wisdom, discretion, responsibility, important things. Scrum, good morning, WUB.
Good morning, Moses. This is Leo Bando here.
Good morning.
I think that we might be missing the tip of the iceberg. You asked a question there as to somebody trying to explain to you what might be said wrong here. I believe that this is a political maneuver by the Barrow administration preparing for the town council elections next year, and possibly a general election. They know quite well that at the end of the day, the government of Belize and the people of Belize will have to pay for this. They did this with the nationalizations of the utilities some years ago, proposing to the people that, Ashcroft had hijacked and the Musa regime had done many things after. Today we are paying big time. I said the price for that, premeditated judgment that was done by the UDP administration. And, this is the time when they need to persuade the Belizean public that, the Musa administration and the PUP is the most corrupt government, so that they could win the next election. And they have done it before, nothing new about it. But at the end of the day, it's the government and people of Belize that will have to pay for every, mishap done either by any of the administrations. That is my position.
I understand that political considerations are involved with a lot of the things we see, a lot of the tactical maneuvers. That's a part of the calculus, I understand. That's just the nature of the beast.
Yep.
But where I stand very, I don't even want to call it uneasy, because I think it's more significant than uneasiness. I think I see it as being very dangerous when you throw your highest court under your law, under the bus. Then it opens up again, in my view, and I don't know if you see it that way. Like, I understand there's a political conversation to have about, you're looking to, is this just a matter of, this is the dance. But all administrations are going to do that. People who have power and those who seek power must have political strategy, they must have political tactics. I cannot demonize that. But I'm speaking now to a specific approach to dealing with this extremely disastrous situation. It seems to me like you're going across a line that you should not be going across. Like, you can use it as you want to gain political points and to try to tarnish your opponent. You can do that, do your thing. But what we have here is something where it's not just now demonizing Queen Street or demonizing Said Musa. But what we are doing now is that we are throwing shade, and it seems almost, in my view, you're demonizing the CCJ. And as I opened up by saying, I'm not here to say, because as anything about the human element, that a denominator, there's always that margin of error. It is possible, legitimately, and it's the nature of courts. They have been wrong. You check on, there's so many cases where DNA have exonerated individuals, and judges and juries swore they got it right, but they've been wrong. Courts are wrong sometimes.
I understand what you're saying, Mose, but like I said, I mean, the political maneuver is something that is there, that Belizean people need to understand. Sometimes I hear they speak about the UDP government, PUP government. I have said it once, and I would say it again. There is no UDP government, there is no PUP government. There is one government. You see, no matter who is there as an administration, at the end of the day, any commitment by the government and people of Belize will have to be paid by the government and people of Belize, not by the PUP or UDP. That's a political maneuver again. So I could see the playing with words to dissuade or to persuade people here. But we will see the results next year when the elections are over. And whosoever wins, the Belizean people and the government of Belize will have to pay for it.
All right.
Thank you.
It's 20 minutes after 7 o'clock. This is the WUB Belize Morning Vibes. Telephone number is 222-4299, as well as 202-4409 and 202-4469. Indeed, I appeal to those who... okay, we have a call. Krem, good morning. Krem, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Brother Moores. Good morning, Belize.
Morning, my brother.
Yes, well, with the calling to inform the people what days are healing to do for this weekend right here. Well, the last days of healing with the horse for this year will be Sunday the 3rd. And we'll work with Miss Garbat. Who don't know Miss Garbat? Miss Garbat that a lady marching band from Mahogany Heights, understand me, Moores?
Yeah.
So we have marching band at Mahogany Heights this weekend right here. Basketball tournament and thing. I have my brethren, Master Teru and Renick James, who are willing to go up the Mahogany Heights and do a judo exhibition for the youth staying up there. I also have one sister from Japan who also willing to go up there and carry one whole ping pong table equipment, all of that, and teach the youth staying ping pong. So you know with the calling, because with days of healing, we always need the support, my brother. Every single month we push this initiative to have it in our different area. And whatever we get for that area there, we use for that area there. So far, I want to thank my brethren, Bart Sanchez, who hear me call and me plead for least support and donation. And Bart said, don't worry about nothing, Sticks. I got 1/2 crate of chicken for you. My brethren, Richard Slusher, we come through yesterday. And then our brethren, what is great, brethren come and bring me a $25 to Sticks towards the season, my brother. I wish I could do more. People will still need help to make this thing happen. And understand me, this will be the 49th Community Day of Healing. And it will be hosted at Mahogany Heights from 9 till 6. And then Saturday Moors, we plan to do the protest again this week. Last week, when we planned to do the protest, we had one lot of turn around by the police. Then last minute, at 11:48, the police called me and tell me we need to be at the station for 12 o'clock exact to sign the bond paper. So I explained to them, Miss, how can I locate the other 3 gentlemen who are supposed to sign this bond paper with me in a matter of 13 minutes to get down the station? It's like, we don't ever want we sign this bond paper. So we're going through a lot of leave back and forth. They end up calling me back and tell me, Sticks, put in on paper Monday, and we will make sure you have your protest for Saturday. And the protest people will have Saturday is against corruption. You understand? The misuse and fraudulent use of the country's resources by those in power. Watch everything what happen right now, my brother. You understand me? We have one leader that he don't want to pay this $90 million. You understand me? When he had the same one, we gone and change wrong laws so that he can take back this $40 million when Musa spent. Right there again, the corruption that like all these brothers think about behind closed doors is ways to cripple we as one people. Ways to keep we on the ground in the dirt because we are collateral damage for these people. They do not care about us. You understand me? They sell it to the world and they profit per way. Again, we'll wait for the police call with him so that we can host this protest this Saturday at Battlefield Park between 10 and 1 on corruption. As we know, most, our government was forced to sign the Anti-Corruption Act last year. They still not signed the bills to really rectify this act. December 5th marks World Corruption Day. Understand me? It's almost 1 year now. They not signed the bill, but they not signed the legislation to make the bill active. Because they know when they sign the legislation, not for they what is sit on right now as ministers and CEOs going to jail. They and their family members. Understand? But again, people, this weekend, yeah, Days of Healing will be hosting a protest in Battlefield Park against corruption. I will call out to our social partners there, Cora, R3 movement, Belize Leaders for Social Justice, every single activist, every single Belizean who has a voice, who is being heard, most, they more blame Southside and we the products of Southside. We live on Southside to destroy this nation. When we know that corruption, the white collar crimes are the #1 killer of the nation, my brother. #1 killer of Belize is corruption. You understand me? You type in corruption and Belize come up. This is what we do right now. You type in corruption and we come up. We the head corruption in this region, yeah, brother. And around we watch next door to Guatemala. When for their leaders do corrupt acts, they go to jail. But right next door for we leaders don't go nowhere. When Minister of Foreign Affairs make one statement last night for news, and he said the CCJ, they really inadequate for their ruling the bull crap. You understand me? And he's sorry that he even gone there with his own personal case. No, Belize gone there with one case and we get a bookut again. So no, this same Minister of Foreign Affairs, while we got an International Court of Justice, who is even bigger than the CCJ. So now when the ICJ said that half of Belize or all of Belize belong to Guatemala, what will Minister of Foreign Affairs will call and say when Jews ask on the question, Minister, you think we should have never gone there? Why Jews, I think we should have never gone there. That this is what this clown wants to say? Or he don't worry about trying to get one Nobel Peace Prize to say that he was the one, this administration was the one to solve 100 conflict. So they want one Nobel Peace Prize in this region or something like that. I don't really know what's really wrong with these boys. But then they tell you things wrong with them. But when we tell them things wrong with them, they look at we like we stupid and we fool. Again, people, this weekend right here, Saturday, between 10 and 1, we'll wait for the police, give us the permission to have the protest on corruption. And we call out the media houses to come out. You understand me? Because these are things that need to be documented. The people's cries. And Sunday, there's a healing. And you don't know more, you look forward to come up there this week, yeah? So then we're going to talk about the two initiatives that we have set for Saturday and Sunday.
All right, brother. Respect. The next call is still there, JC. Krem, good morning.
Good morning, Moses.
Morning.
This is Mr. Cartella now. We'll talk again for Esperanza, man. Like yesterday, right, I was at my home, me and my wife, you know. The policeman then come to my house. They robbed down my house. They come and they said they can start the gun and ammunition, you know. So my wife, they asked them some question. Why, what kind of information you get to make you come rob my house like that? So, because then we not dealing no, I not dealing no crime. I tell you I used to be a criminal, but I'm not criminal anymore, you know. And then people just come harass me, put a handcuff on me, a handcuff up my hand, like, you know, like a big criminal or something like that. So afterwards they just lose the handcuff and go about their business. I asked them and got one search warrant, they don't have no search warrant. You know? Then people are just come rushing to my house and just, you know, like they could do anything what they want. I was like when the young man made the talk about us now, I think this corruption business alone bullshit, you know? I think we have to go protest too, man. We have to go down to Belize on Saturday with my crowd to the way, you know?
Yes, sir.
Because I don't like this, you know? I don't like what happened right now, man. It's too much corruption happening in the country right now. Thanks, Mo.
Respect. 29 minutes after 7 o'clock inside the WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Excuse me, this time check is brought to you by Grace Kennedy Belize Limited.
From the company who brought you Buendia freeze-dried coffee, Grace 100% pure Colombian coffee is made in Colombia, considered among the finest coffee regions around the world. Naturally freeze-dried, Grace 100% pure Colombian coffee is exposed to less heat than other coffee brands to preserve the flavor and aroma to make the perfectly convenient cup of coffee you deserve. Have a buenos dias with Grace.
Quality nutrition from generation to generation.
Bringing good taste to life.
All right, welcome back to the WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Telephone numbers 222-4299 as well as 202-4409, 202-4469. Those are the direct lines. for you to participate in the conversation. Link with us, express your point of view, your thoughts, your concerns, criticisms, complaints, contribute your ideas. Sports Hide until 9 on this Wednesday morning. After 8, we're going to have guests, so it's best for you to jump in and take full advantage of the free space that we have to engage in topics of your choosing. Krem, good morning, WB.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Brother Moores, we cannot blame Mr. Ashcroft for what has been happening to us in Belize, because it's a businessman. He's doing business. When Mr. Barrow went with no entourage to look after the people of Belize in a hotel room and come back with squeaky smiles and devious lies, then now turn around when the whole thing come back down and turn around and say, oh, that Barrow and Williams make up that, you know. So when I blame the businessman, Belize, you know, do not only does that make money, he put the Belizean money out there, according to him, through Belize Bank. We don't know if Central Bank will investigate that that's we money may use. But people have to get back their money. Business is a business. Barron Williams make money. Everybody make money. And how they don't want to give back for their money. You know, so I just Baramose. And then I something because I've been listening for a long time. September done gone long time. But what I want the Belizean people to know, these chaperones that comes around and bring these queens and their run-ups from different areas in America, they are very devious, slimy, dirty. And I say name, but I said far away. New York was one of them. The lady had to go to the police to get her daughter. So this queen business where they go on, and everybody to talk about, human rights, the rights of the women. This is what they do to women. Okay, there's a lot of things going on with this pageant business. The only reason why I waited to see if anybody would have said anything, but they don't care. You know, or maybe they don't know. Where they go know now? The New York segment of that thing, the lady was rotten. The kids get up in the morning and nothing to eat. We took water. We took burger for them to eat. And when we asked about the water, she was so devious. You could bring water for the next little girl too. The lady even called my home. Oh, do you have nail polish remover? Man, these are some slimy situations to be celebrating on a 10th of September. Supposed to be a national day for us. You know, these things are wicked. There's a lot more I need to talk about more, but those were the two things that's bothering me.
All right.
Ashcroft is a businessman. Thank you.
7:34 inside the WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. And, whoa. No good ending here, I think. No good ending. There are no heroes. There's no no hero points available. At least not in my view. So all the grandstanding to try to look heroic, nah. There are no hero points. There are no hero points. There is no out. Nothing here is good. So there's no hero points. If that is what people are trying to garner from us, to try get funny people, hero points. WB, good morning.
Morning, Moores. Morning, Belize. Just a call for give more quick feedback from the CARICOM consultation last week, Thursday, the Best Western. It's one of the things that the Landers and Community Organizer, the same with a company show and encourage people for attending one function or event. We have a responsibility to also follow through with check in or report back for people who maybe never hear, never know. So just checking quickly. So like we had mentioned, they had 3 focus groups last week Thursday. First focus group, youth. Second, NGOs and churches. And the third was the special interest group. Some youth did turn up. One of the feedback I get is that some young people are in school and they're dealing with exams. About 30 youths came, but they came late, and so the focus group was over already. So there could have been more youth participation, but the youths who were there were open about what they had to say. Let me ask anyone over 21 years to left the room so that the youth then could speak freely, so that when teacher or counselor, they didn't have to feel one way because they can't open up. That was different for a number of people in the room, but we left nonetheless, and then the last 15 minutes of the hour, then called back in to share with me. So not too late, we could still via email send comments to the CARICOM email address, and that is marijuana@caricom.com. I'm sorry, .org. marijuana@caricom.org. In the next 2 minute talk with Polo, some of the takeaways was that it was different to see people from different walks of life having open and honest conversations. So I asked Polo if the head table had ever majority non-Belizeans, you feel like we may have that type of conversation or that level, and he said no, he never thinks so neither. But then often you find roots people having one mic and being listened to, and you have professionals like we had a neurosurgeon, chief magistrate was there, we had the churches there, we had our Rastafari representation, we had police representation, and people. What I admired about the chair was that she was very clear. A number of times, Belizeans wanted to share their input on the amendment to the Drug and Misuse Act, and she would say, "We're not here to debate the Belize law. We're here to find out what is your position on marijuana. If you're speaking for yourself, if you're speaking for a group of people, how many people do you speak for? What evidence do you have to support the position that you are sharing?" And the few times when I go to meetings with we Belizean people, then that kind of very precise approach where you manage your time quick, or manage your time well, and you need to speak from a position of knowing. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be schooled for being one expert. Everyday people want to live life. You don't want expert from the way you live. And so that was very meaningful. Opportunity we'll get to hear things we will never hear before. Reggie was there as well from the Herbs brother. So it was just really, for me, it was a very fruitful conversation for people who supported, people who did not support. And so I really look forward to that kind of conversation, hopefully in the future where we could organize. In the night, they did have the town hall meeting. I think about 30 people went. I wasn't at that particular meeting. For the 3 focus group, about 25 to 40 people came. And in respect to that particular process and to the people who helped to organize it, and we want to continue their conversations. What was also different that I really appreciated was that they give out a handout. And this particular handout came from the Attorney General's office. And at least I had never seen it before. It was a fact sheet explaining the changes to the law, which I had never seen before. So I'm willing to, I like make up things more. So it could be like Weed Wednesday. On Wednesday, just call in and share a fact about marijuana. And I would actually use this fact sheet because it's the first time I've seen something, I would say, from the government, because the Attorney General office or one of the ministers would give more concrete explanation about the amendment, because on letter we still not understand the amendment so that we could be responsible as far as these changes are. So, we just want to call and give the report back. And so thanks for the space. for allowing me for calling and change the subject to whatever we want to share about. And that is really appreciated. So you could expect my calls most Wednesdays, and I try to stretch my talking and just share what we need to share. And I'm always open to people contacting me and sharing different positions, ideas, whether it's for or against when it comes to the cannabis conversation in particular.
Respect all the time, sister. It's 7:41 in the studios. WUB Belize Morning Vibes. Our telephone numbers are 222-4299 as well as 202-4409 and 202-4469. Those are the direct lines we want to hear from you before the morning is out. And just to kind of recap my thoughts and views this morning on what we kind of have been focused on. There's one thing to debate the decision of whether to pay or not to pay, which, based on the newscast last night, interviews done with members of cabinet, it would appear that that decision has been made. They will not pay. But we have a call. WB, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Mose.
Good morning, sir.
Mose, what is the most dangerous thing for human being in the bush? It's a question.
What is what?
It's the most dangerous thing for human being today in the bush.
In the bush?
Yes, in the bush.
Would that be, I imagine, would that be something like what, snake?
No.
In the bush?
Yes, sir.
So you don't think that snake? That snake dip on my mind when I go in a bush, but
I don't think that snake dip on human being mind today when they go in the bush.
What dip on their mind when they go in the bush?
Weed.
Huh?
Weed. Weed. We call marijuana, ganja, or whatever.
The most dangerous thing when you go in the bush?
Inside the bush.
When you go in the bush, the most dangerous thing is weed? Okay.
Yes.
But I afraid for snakes, so I don't agree.
You're kind of last, but you're not afraid for weed?
Huh?
You're not afraid for weed?
If I'm afraid for weed, no.
No?
No.
Well, let me tell you what I think.
Yes, sir.
I think that before 1981, nobody used to afraid for weed in the bush. Everybody afraid for weed after then. After they start shooting after you in the bush because of weed. Okay. Now look at it this way. Most if you have 50 acres of land and you have 5 sons, your wife, couple daughters, and you are doing farming, and all the plants you have on your 50 acres of land is okay, except for one weed tree. That's the reason why they keep weed illegal, to chase the native out of the bush. You know, since they start oppressing people about weed in the bush, everybody leave their plantation and start to live in the concrete jungle. Everybody leave their plantation and go and live in the city or the town. That make it impossible or not possible the illegality of weed. That's the idea of these big nations when they keep saying that weed is illegal. Because you see, you can't have a plantation today because one weed tree you have in your plantation will make you go to jail, or maybe the security force come and shoot after you. Somebody only have to say that you have weed on your plantation and up come security force. So nobody can relax. None of the native could relax in the bush today because of weed. If you go into the bush and you see a weed tree, would you stay there? You'll run like hell. Liar true.
All right, Bergeron.
So the idea of having the weed illegal is to keep us away from the plantation and the bush. Before
you don't a farmer, man?
I raised up on a farm.
But I saw you a man where you comfortable in the bush.
I was.
You used to be. Okay.
I used to be.
Forget
until they start to
okay,
say
so
if you want to plant, you plant corn, you plant this, you plant that, you don't plant weed.
What part of the country you plant? I don't know, for your plantation there?
Mullen River.
Mullins River.
Yes, I raised up there.
Mullins River, beautiful.
50s, 60s, 70s.
Beautiful, beautiful soil, yeah.
But nobody had us to worry about then.
Does Mullins River still exist? I still have people like, because I know that there's been like...
all these places, Belize River Valley, Mullins River, and Shaboon, Mascal, they are all abandoned.
So you used to go weed at Mullins River?
No.
So how you... Okay. But then how you know this whole thing about weed in the bush? You made think about go weed at Mullins River?
I talk about today, you know, was I not talk about?
What that's something with your mind today?
Something in my mind. Yes, you never used to in my mind then, because nobody ever used to the word about weed. Okay. You never used to have the Englishman come they shoot after you for about weed. Nobody never used to even worry about and think about weed. Weed only increased the value since they started to hunt it down.
All right. Listen to me. I hear your argument. I hear your conversation. Respect. I still but if my mind in the bush that weed, that no weed, that a snake. I don't really wait anything.
I talk about today, but because you never did, because you know going in the bush.
Yeah, cause you know I grew up that city, and yes. my nature experience as a child growing up up on the sea. I never in a bush. If it was in the bush, I wouldn't got no problem about snake and worry about warrior and worry about jaguar and anything there. That was comfortable and ivory when I go in a bush. When I go in a bush, boy, I watch all along because I don't know. But I hear your argument, respect your contribution this morning.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Goodbye.
It's 7:47 inside of the studios of WUB Morning Vibes. We'll wait. We're here. Explanations will be forwarded. I don't come back on here until Monday, so I won't be here tomorrow or Friday to weigh in. I just feel that there are no hero points because either we suffer the payment $90 million out of the consolidated fund, or anybody with any sense know there's a very uncertain highway when you decide to not comply with your highest court in your land. Down a very uncertain highway, and there's danger there. So you can grandstand, but there are no hero points because either the poison where you know exactly where the poison will be, or down the other road, poison and you just don't know in our farm. You just don't know how they will bring the poison to you. You don't know what kind of stunts will get pulled upon you, but at the very least, you had the moment when you say, well, I know the pay. That's what we're faced with right now. So there's no heroic solution here. We have rammed ourselves into a painful reality. My question is, even though we know where we're there, where I spend time to talk about this morning and where I appeal to the honorable, wise leaders that we have, my concern, and I'm troubled by it, and it's not a personal attack. I'm terribly troubled by what I consider to be a dangerous attempt to say that the CCJ is garbage, because then that throws your entire infrastructure, stability, your whole judiciary. It really puts a cloud over it. I think maybe it can be explained away, and I will be delighted by that if it can be explained away, if my concerns can be quelled. Respect to that. I'd appreciate that from the learned gentleman. Put forward that explanation to me. If not, I think we need to walk back from any comments there. Internally, we could burn out them, brother. Publicly, I think that a recipe for disaster of one different nature. We go beyond now 90 million or not to do 90 million. You're talking about one fabric of your judicial stability, and you're throw it under the bus. I think that's dangerous. If it's not, please explain. And if it is, walk back from it. It don't make no sense. That is dangerous business. I will take this call, then I'm going to 2 cents come. Krem, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yes. Good morning, Brigitte. Most
Yes, sir.
Well, I just want to say something quickly about this universal debt rate. First of all, we need to remember that the debt was $40 million. And out of government stubbornness, stability, we have to pay $50 million in the interest because the thing to be $90 million. I also want to say that I am totally against government guarantee for a private business. So I'm in no way acting for universal health service. Now the next thing I want to say is that quickly, the debt was paid in full with money from Venezuela and Taiwan. When the UDP got in brought take back the money, I refused to pay. No, it is a long-standing tradition and a fact that any debt that the previous government incurs, the new government is responsible for it. Any government responsible for the debt of the previous government. Now they are saying that they not appear because it was in violation of the finance and audit act. Fine. If you use the logic, Finbar spent almost $300 million to Petro-Caribbean money without authorization from the house. So suppose, let's say when PUP get in a government, then they say, guess what? You see that $300 million one may spend without permission, we know to pay it back. That don't make no sense. The next thing is that
stick a pin.
When they decide not to pay it back, they went to the Privy Council, the highest court, then the court, the court said that agreement is binding. So then they took it to the Caribbean Court of Justice. They took it to the Caribbean Court of Justice. They say, rule on this thing to it. The court said, we don't have to pay this thing binding. Yet they say they will not pay. Now these same people are saying how much they love the Belizean people. That's why they not pay. But at 17% interest per month, if we do not pay the debt as quickly as possible, within the next year, the debt will be more than double to $190 million take a government stubbornness. Secondly, I have to say this. We are saying, let us go to the ICJ to settle the Guatemalan dispute. But when the CCJ rule against we say we know the honor that. And we set up ourselves to make ourselves go to the ICJ, Belize winding. And that's our excuse to Guatemala say, yeah, but we don't respect that because when the CCJ rule against we don't accept that. And as a final thing I'm saying, I will end by saying this, right? How can the government be spending millions of dollars, over $500 million in legal fees, yet for look in at we face and tell we that they don't got money for housing, land, education, and proper health care for people? Thank you.
Yes, sir. On a point of correction or clarification, the money that was given to this country by Venezuela was given in the name of housing for the poor. In the name of housing for the poor. And I and a couple hundred others protested using money that was given in the name of housing for the poor to pay the debt for private rich elite investors. See, I start off the show in a word of caution. No try revise history that expose to serious contradictions. No do that. There are no hero points. Nobody could come out of this, they look good. Nobody they come out of this look rosy. Nobody they come out of this look brave. We look like a bunch of idiots when we got no idea what we do. That is how we will all look. There is no escape from that judgment. This morning I spent my time, they said, not try look good, they throw the CCJ under the bus. You can't look good, they do that. You only could run the risk of creating chaos because public confidence is then going to be reduced, or people want to start say, I know I'm better comply with them because they're not ready and then a garbage. That's my contention this morning. But not make we try remix the truth. Venezuela never give you money for pay off the debt for some rich fat cats. Venezuela give you the money for try make we create housing for the poor. And then that money get diverted away from the poor to go pay what it is that some rich man debt. And that in itself, that may BS, make we be real. We're going to 2 cent camp, can we? Sister Yaya Marine Coleman, we take our first break of the morning, we have change the temperature, change the energy, bring in guests for today.
Two cents question there, brother. How Belizeans end up having to pay this $90 million?
And the both government put it by way. Both of them put it by way.
Thanks for 2 cents. Next question there, my sister. How Belizeans end up with this $90 million debt?
You want all the details? Because that, I don't know. I really don't have all the details. I think through some negligence of somebody. Is that the best I could say?
Make I say, if I could explain my understanding, right? Private entity group of people want money for one hospital. DFC approved one overdraft for the money. End of the day, DFC couldn't control the money, and the government of Belize take on the debt. And through Belize Bank. Belize Bank said the government for pay that money back, and that money with interest end up for being $90 million. The other argument is that Belize Bank sell off the assets, so in essence, they don't get their money back from the loan, and now they want one second payment, they want interpretation. But that's my understanding. I stand to be corrected.
I mean, I don't know, but I just know that if you go to the bank and you borrow money, you have to pay it back. I think the real question that you should have asked is, should we pay or not to pay? That is really what people want to know. Should they pay or not to pay? Because that is what is going to be voted on in a few days. That should be the 2 cents question. And I mean, as I say, should we pay or should we not pay? Because how it gets irrelevant at this time. What really is important is we now have a bill to pay.
That's a good suggestion for your 2 cents come question, and I want to ask it. But before anybody pay the money, you want to know how I get for all this money. So we need to know how we get for have to pay this money, and then we could get to the question, should we pay? So thank you for that 2 cents question. 2 cents question then, brother. How we end up with this $90 million debt?
You know how we end up with this debt here? I think the government should have stopped play, and deal with the issue. If we need to go take it somewhere else, but then we wait till this debt go big, then we want to try play games with it.
Well, how we end up with it, how we get it, you know?
Sure, we get it. We know how we get it. Everybody know how we get it.
Everybody know how we get it. Not call it that attack. I barely know how we get it since everybody know. You tell me how we get it.
We get it through government. Government at the time that was there decided to make some deals with it. Now, let me finish off, then I'll hide them. Now, the government decided to play games with it, right? They should have taken this issue and taken it seriously as a government. As a government, because we the people play, we get match down there. Big people play up there and the grass get match down there. So we deal with this issue from the beginning, understand me? And then we may have this problem with this $90 million. The government has to stop playing as if they are the opposition. This is not the opposition, this is the government. This is the people's money we are playing with, and we are playing like they are the opposition. They are for 15 years now there. They need to own whatever they have here done.
Now explain to me now, how we end up with this $90 million debt?
This $90 million debt was the government at the time, and they need to be dealt as the government now. Thank you very much.
Thanks for 2 cents. 2 cents question there, brother. How Belizeans end up with this $90 million debt?
Well, I just thought about it. Like I said, I heard about it. I have to investigate about it and see what you lead from there, right?
My understanding is that the DFC at the time, under the government of Belize, which was majority PUP administration, guarantee one loan, one overdraft for a private entity, Universal Healthcare Services, I believe. They never come up with the money, so then gone the Belize Bank and the government at the time secured the loan from private entity. And the bank then carried the government of Belize the court, actually 4 different courts, and all of the court then say, government of Belize pay the bank. And that's how come Belizeans end up in a this position with this $90 million debt.
Well, I guess you have to pay it. I guess you have to pay it through the court, no?
Thanks for 2 cents.
Because if you don't pay it, the money might get bigger.
Thanks for 2 cents. 2 cents question there, my sister. How Belizeans end up with this $90 million debt?
I have no idea how they end up with that debt. But all I could say is that we have to pay it, our grandkids have to pay it, our great-great-grandkids have to pay it, because every year you build up if they're not paid, so that we they feel.
Make I give it a shot to see if I understand it. And I stand to be corrected, this is my understanding. Under one PUP administration, still the government of Belize, DFC guarantee one loan for one private entity. Belize Universal Services, I believe the hospital name at the time. DFC never have the money, and so they gone the Belize Bank and secured the loan. The bank carried the government of Belize the court, 4 different courts, and the court then say government of Belize have to pay the money. And now there's lots of details in between, also on general overview to my understanding. And so, yeah, that's my 2 cents.
That's my 2 cents too, like where I say, we grand picnic and we great-great-grand picnic will have to pay this.
Thanks for 2 cents. 2 cents question then, brother. How Belizeans end up with this $90 million debt?
Well, I'm quite not sure due to the governance of our country. I would say that.
All right, Mega, I had to try to give it to one shot, right? To my understanding. And then if you know a little bit more, you could add on to this story. Under the former administration, government of Belize, PUP administration and the government of Belize, DFC guarantee one loan overdraft for one private entity, one hospital at the time, Universal Healthcare Services. My understanding is that DFC never have the money for pay it, and so the government of Belize guaranteed the loan to the Belize Bank. The reason why the government guaranteed loan, because the intention was that the hospital may get used for the NHI scheme, so that Belizeans may have access to the hospital and the services. The government, according to the Belize Bank, default upon the loan and gone to 4 different courts, and all of the courts said the government of Belize for pay the money. Now you have some details where another share card try shorten the story, and people have some questions about should we pay the loan, but 4 courts say we will pay it. So that's my short version of how we end up with this $90 million debt. Maybe I could, since you're one of Belizean artists, maybe one of these days you use this in some of your lyrics, because there's a different way for inform and educate Belizeans.
Yes, definitely we have to elaborate on this, definitely.
Thanks for 2 cents. 2 cents question, dear my sister. How Belizeans end up with this $90 million debt?
I'm not sure exactly how we end up with it, but I think that it is unfair that we have to pay back for it. If I didn't borrow something, I shouldn't have to pay back for it.
Wait a minute. But how we say we not for pay back for it and we don't even know why we borrow it, which is why I would ask the question in the first place. Anytime we go vote and we elect area reps, then become for we voice. So when the government of Belize make decisions what best for Belize, that's the way they want to go vote for people, you have to give them permission for talk to you, so that the whole con them make the decision for borrow this $90 million. And then when the government of Belize not pay the money back based on the commitment, what I'm making a writing for pay the $90 million back, then how come we end up responsible for paying the $90 million? And the government of Belize could be under one PUP administration or a UDP administration. So one time the government of Belize guarantee one loan for a private hospital, which was under the PUP administration, that is still representing the people of Belize. So under this current government of Belize, which is a UDP administration, they still attack for the people of Belize, so that the how come we end up with this $90 million debt, well, we for pay for based on when 4 courts say when Belize Bank Here the government believes the court for Malpalgo had pay, not for pay back the money, what in a writing agree for pay back. That the long and short, or the essence of how Belizeans end up with this $90 million debt.
Okay, so you answer the question where I never know. Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir, 2 cents, sister. 2 cents question, dear, my sister. How Belizeans end up with this $90 million debt?
I really don't know, I know.
It is Wednesday morning, 29th November 2017, most high until 9. As promised, we begin with guests, the second half of the show. Joining us at this point in time, very familiar person to us, and familiar to some of you because she once was on our television channel. We're very proud to have had her. Maryam Abdul Qawiyy here as ROC Global Ambassador to tell us about Rhythm of Change and an event that is a very special event that is coming up. Good morning, welcome back. Good having you here, Maryam.
Good morning, Mose. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be back.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. You're back for a very special effort, aren't you?
Yes, yes. I'm here for the Yoga Festival, the International Yoga Festival that we'll be having. And this is our signature, the festival is our signature fundraiser for ROC, which is Rhythm of Change, which is a non-profit organization founded by Michelle Williams of Shanti. And what we do is we basically promote and provide yoga classes for those who it wouldn't be readily available to. For example, we go to the women's prison twice a week and we teach yoga classes there. We also are providing training for the inmates so that they can become their own teachers and teach one another. We also go to the youth hostel as well, and we also go to St. Martin's and teach the kids as well, several times throughout the week.
So this is an effort to sustain those programs.
Yes, this is a fundraiser. The Yoga Festival is a fundraiser and an effort to raise money to continue to have these programs that we are able to go out and teach yogas to people who wouldn't have it readily available to them, because we believe in its healing power to help others.
And this is the second time around for this?
Yeah, this is the second year. This year we're going to have local yoga teachers as well as international teachers coming in from the Dominican Republic, from India to teach yoga. And we'll also have local teachers as well. Aaron Crone will be coming in from Placencia. We'll have another visitor similar who's a regular here at Cromwell, used to be Samia Andrew, and she'll be back teaching as well. I'll be teaching a class on Sunday. So you can come out to see like a ride away of different classes that will be taught by different teachers, you know. You can pick and choose.
Okay, so break it down for us exactly
Yes.
give us a sense so that we can
okay, so
have this mental imagery of all that's going to happen.
Right, so the Yoga Festival is it's a 2-day event. It's this Saturday, December 2nd, and this Sunday, December 3rd. It starts at 6 a.m. with Mr. Jeremy Enriquez doing meditation. So if you want you to get in meditation and everything, you take that with him. We'll have classes, 3 yoga classes every hour, or 3 holistic classes pertaining to yoga every hour. It doesn't necessarily have to be yoga, all the way until 7 p.m. So you can pick and choose what classes you want to go to. There'll be vendors there selling holistic things. There'll be different healthy foods being served by certain people as well. So that's the Saturday. And then the Sunday, similar. We start again, not that early. We won't start at 6 a.m. We start at 8:30. And what happens then is the same thing. 3 yoga classes, 3 classes provided every hour by different teachers from local and international. And then when we get to 6:30, 7, it'll end. And then 7 p.m. the concert begins with the Garifuna Collective. The Garifuna Collective, the culminating, and we'll finish the whole event with a nice performance by the Garifuna Collective. So,
but from the ad, there's also other performers, I think.
Yes, there'll be other performers as well. We have the young lady Caetano, she'll be performing, and we also have Mr. Dwayne Maria, who will be doing dance. And we may have some drumming as well as people are walking around and stuff like that. And I think it'll be like a nice event for a family friendly, fun event for people to come out and enjoy.
Where is it going to be?
It's going to be at the Harborview Greens. And if you don't know where that is, the Harborview Greens is right by the lighthouse and the other Belize sign.
Okay.
Right across from there. It's right in that area. And I think it's very reasonable, the ticket prices, considering everything that you'll get.
Okay, so what's the price of the tickets too?
So if you want to do the day pass, like if you just want to say like you want to come out this Saturday and maybe you say, okay, Sunday we are carry the family and go out, it's only $35 for the day pass. And then also for, if you want to do the 2-day pass, it's $50. So if 1-day pass is $35 and that include getting in, you know, having access to the booths, taking the yoga classes and all of that. If you want to do 2 days, it's $50. You'll have the same thing. And then if you want to go to the concert, that's a separate fee to pay for the concert.
Where are these tickets available, Maryam?
We have our tickets are available. Our ticket outlets, just give me a second here. So obviously at Shanti.
Work it out, Maryam, work it out.
Shanti at our yoga studio, Shanti. Radisson Front Desk, Cellular Plus. And we'll also be raffling a Samsung Galaxy 3 as well. So if you buy a ticket, you'll be automatically entered into our raffle.
Can you be a first-time person to the whole yoga experience, or do you have had to have previous experience with yoga?
It can be both.
Okay.
I know.
You don't have to be an expert.
No, you don't have to be an expert. You can come out. I will be teaching the beginner yoga class on Sunday morning at 9:45.
What's that going to entail?
So beginners yoga is really, I'll be explaining and taking it slow as we go along, so you feel comfortable with doing it and not being rushed into things.
Which reminds me, if I'm not mistaken. The last time when you were here with Michelle, I think, there was a commitment made that we're not going to be talking about yoga ever again in the WB without it be represented by some physical demonstration of yoga. There was a commitment that we were going to put mats on the floor and you would come prepared to have that visual demonstration. Do you recall?
Yes, I recall.
Ah, so then.
However,
explain to the audience why that was just an empty promise.
No, it wasn't an empty promise. It's just that, you know, I think that the space that we need to do that.
Oh, we don't have. But I know you're hearing this. We don't have a yoga accommodating space in our studio, you see. So that means you have.
And you don't have to do. You don't need the mat to do yoga. We're doing yoga right now.
You tell me you couldn't do yoga panis right here?
No, that's not. That's so inappropriate on this table, the mat. But I mean, you can do yoga like we did the little demonstration.
We did a little demonstration last time. You had me doing.
We can again if you would like.
No. I don't want no halfway thing.
It's not halfway.
Come on. There was this commitment that Quem Studio will become a yoga room.
But
man.
did I say that? No. Okay,
but
so
Michelle
you can't
did.
hold me accountable for something that I never say.
Michelle did, and you were a part of that whole energy. You did not disagree. You did not say, well, Michelle, you were on your own. You did not say, well, I can't really do that. But now we get the excuse that will never happen, people.
It will happen. It's just not at this time.
I just rough you up a little bit.
I know.
Just for fun.
I know, Nago. This is a creme.
Exactly, but
be with self.
Boom. But that doesn't mean that
we not afraid.
Okay, but hold up. That doesn't mean that we don't want to see that, though.
Yes.
I have to, on behalf of the audience, I got to advocate that.
Yeah,
you know, we get more than just the talking, because yoga is a participatory process.
Yes, it is. It is. It is.
And if we are to convince people that this is something that they, you know, okay,
that
this whole concept that, you know, there are class barriers to yoga, or that, you know, that it's not a thing for the people.
No. I mean, anyone can do yoga as long as you have your body. You can do yoga. You have your breath. You can do yoga. We can do something right now. We can do something right now. Yes.
I don't want to be no guinea pig this morning.
No, it's not a guinea pig.
Listen to me. I was a guinea pig the last time, and I don't want to do that right now. I want to. Let me focus on my job. My job is to interview you and get you talking about this event and encouraging people to try to be a part of it. Support it, because could you give us, I don't know if have you been a part of any of the outreach to go, for example, to the prison?
Yes, I've been there to teach.
How is it received by?
It's received very well. There's less incidents among the inmates after they've taken yoga.
Okay.
So that's one of the things. It reduces stress, it reduces anxiety, and promotes relaxation, mental clarity. Because it's about getting in tune with your body and breathing properly.
Do you have any inmates who, like, okay, like you would say, become enthusiastically committed to
yes,
yoga?
those are the ones who will be trained to become teachers so that they can teach their other
So a couple of them
fellow
have
inmates.
become very committed?
Yes, yes, we have a lot of committed inmates, and we will be training them soon so that they can become their own teachers and use these tools of yoga to help heal themselves.
That would be a great story if we get a couple of our brothers and sisters from out the jail and then moving on to a more positive path. That would be great. That would be a great story. How is it received in Martins?
Oh, it's received very well.
I imagine
oh my
it's
gosh.
crazy.
Every class, it's like more and more children. It's like, how are we gonna maintain all these children to get them focused? But everybody wants to do yoga. They want, so they're excited about it. They're excited about using their bodies, and also again, less incidents among the children after they're taking yoga. It's something that promotes this sense of peace and calm within.
And to make sure that this continues, to make sure that access is something that is universal here in Belize, where people can have, it doesn't matter where you're from, to make sure this outreach continues. That's why this event is being planned.
Yes, because this is our signature fundraiser for Rhythm of Change. So we really, we would love if people come out and support.
People from all over the country.
Yes, people from all over the country, Hopefully the plan is to be able to have it at different areas in the country at one point in time, but right now it's in Belize City, so.
No, I imagine that you have others who partners, I should say, who are helping with this effort. I think I heard you say that you have to give respect to your sponsors.
Yes, we shall. So our sponsors we have to thank is Maritime Estates, BIC, the Love Foundation, Radisson, Niche, of course, Atlantic Bank, Atlantic Insurance, Crystal, M&M, Ideal Studios, Mirage, BTB, of course, King's Rentals as well. So, I mean, we really want to give a nice and a big thanks, a huge thanks to our sponsors and everyone who is helping with this effort. We also want to give a big shout out and a lot of thanks to all the yoga teachers around the country who
They
are
don't have us
helping
down as a sponsor?
with this effort. Are you a sponsor, Mose?
Yes.
Are you gonna mess with me again?
Yes.
We'd like to thank Creme TV and Mr. Mose Hyde.
No, I never said Mose Hyde. I never said Mose Hyde. I never said my name. But yeah, your name's a caller. It's not that I was, it was preoccupied with it, but then if other people want to get love, then, I mean, work with me, Mr. Cliff.
Well, I'm thanking you now, Mose.
Hey, man.
I'm thanking
don't left
everyone
out,
now.
man.
I'm thanking everyone. I don't left nobody out.
Hey, man. We not to be sensitive, but we also have
I'm not being sensitive.
Huh?
I'm not being sensitive. I'm a yogi. I'm very sensitive.
We are not being sensitive. Okay. We're just asking for justice.
Well, justice has been served.
That's what we do, Maryam. It's always a pleasure to have you here. I imagine that there is a Facebook. I don't want to assume, but is there a Facebook?
Yes, if you go to the Shanti page on Facebook, you'll see that we have the flyer up as well. And we have flyers all over. Also, just to reiterate and say it one more time, it's this Saturday, December 2nd, and this Sunday, December 3rd, from 6 a.m. to 7:30 on Saturday. And then on Sunday, it's from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Culminating performance will be done by the Garifuna Collective from 7 to 10. And again, the day pass is $35 Belize. If you want a 2-day pass, it's $50 Belize.
Excellent. Give my best regards to Michelle.
I shall.
And enjoy your remaining days. Come back to the WUB Belize Morning Vibes. It's mind a little bit of the traffic and guests Wednesday morning, second segment, and this is our third segment, and the guests continue. Lest you forget, December 1st, World AIDS Day, and here to have a very small conversation on this topic. I remember when the phones would all die. The ringing of the phones would just go like silent whenever we would have any conversation about AIDS. Like we could never get people to talk about that back in the days. It's just a heavy stigma and just unfair. And people hate what they fear. and I imagine we still have some of that. But here to lead us in this conversation, we have with us, I imagine from the National AIDS Commission, we have Arthur Usher, and then we have from the Ministry of Health, Antonio Coyoc. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Good having you both here.
Thank you.
Lest we forget, because I think the issue of AIDS is no longer this sexy, dramatic, you know, on the frontline conversation. I think we have so many other things that we have that have taken priority, but that does not change how huge a challenge it remains, I imagine, and how much education is important for us to somehow be able to get over the hump with not only the national but the global challenge of HIV and AIDS. So tell us, what is the theme in fact for World AIDS Day 2017?
Right, so this year's theme is the right to health.
Yeah.
It speaks to our inalienable rights as human beings to access health care no matter where you are or who you are. So in relation to HIV, then that speaks to accessing the necessary medication and everything that you need. So if you're indeed positive, to alleviate your suffering. So again, our team, and again in terms of what we're celebrating on Friday, is the 30th anniversary of World AIDS Day.
Okay.
It started in 1988.
Whoa.
So and as we speak, as you mentioned, you said, whoa, you see 30 years of
whoa, yeah,
celebrating and activity.
crazy, yeah.
And it speaks to where we've been and where we've come in terms of the response, in terms of how people educate, in terms of how we move forward. So I think that's what we're trying to achieve again this year with our activity.
Give us an overview of where we are right now, Belize, statistically, and what type of movements we're seeing insofar as people's willingness to be tested, infection rates, and how we're doing with the issue of stigmatization of those who are living with HIV, and behavioral changes. That's a lot, and we only have about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so when it comes to the statistics component, for last year, we had a total of, for 2016, we had a total of 225 infected persons. Newly infected.
Yeah.
Where 119 were males and 106 were female. All right. For testing, we had a total of a little over 32,600 tests that were done.
Last year?
Last year.
Okay. Okay, so these numbers represent an increase, a decrease, a steady...
The new infection is just showing us a steady trend. All right? It's
plateaued.
Plateaued, yeah. And for the testing, we had a total, like I mentioned, a little over 32,600. And from that, 64% were female. So 34% were males. So
okay, so males are not running down the test.
They are not doing.
But statistically, overall, are more people testing on average per year? More people, or that has plateaued?
Yes, it's showing us that more people are coming out to test.
More people are testing.
So I guess, like you rightly mentioned at the beginning, the health education, I guess, is playing a huge role in that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
The issue of stigmatization, which is a critical issue. What are we seeing? More openness about it.
I think with the message being sent across, I think we're seeing more. They're being more open and more receptive. But we still have to work on the persons that are actually infected with the inner stigma. You know, for example, you come to the clinic and you walk in, nobody knows what's going on with you except for you.
Yes.
You know, and you'd be like, oh, you know what? Then they watch me too hard, you know. Then they must know I have it, you know.
Yeah.
And I guess that's something we need to work on the inner stigma of the person infected.
No, I think it is one of the. We spend a lot of time really criticizing and being very disappointed with governance and leaders, and in many instances justifiably so. But one of the best things we've done, I've been involved with the media and the scrutiny of governance and our elected leaders, has been what I deem a very progressive mentality towards HIV, and also a very humanitarian approach to it, because very early out, well, early enough, there was a successful attempt to try to get low-cost medication to people who are HIV infected. Give us an update on that program. I think it was an excellent, very progressive initiative sustained by successive administrations, so they both get points for it.
Right.
Tell us about what that...
So for right now, the Ministry of Health is the one that procures all the medication. I'm going to give you a little... I'm going to talk a little bit about figures so that people know how much these medications are costing and they're not adhering.
Yeah.
You know, for this year, the government has spent a little over $172,000 US to procure these medications, all right? And I'm glad to say this actually comes out of the budget from the Ministry of Health.
Yeah.
When it comes to the preventative component, we're actually investing a little bit over $60,000 US when it comes to procurement of condoms and lubrication and so forth, you know, for the preventative component.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the medication component, when you have these people that are infected and are not adhering, you know, it makes us want to work harder on bringing these people into the system because the medication is there and it's free of cost, you know.
After what we've seen globally is that many nations have become troubled by the fact that there is this view setting in that we have conquered HIV, that there are medications, and now risky behavior is returning in some of these, you know, big countries, and they're seeing an uptick in infection rates in these countries, and they believe that it stems from, you know, people are starting to, oh yeah, your AIDS is something that we can manage, you know, we really have to worry about that again. Tell us about your approach to the National AIDS Commission to try to, you know, deal with that mentality.
Well, I think that's a bit nearsighted in terms of where we are. The moment you forget the severity of a disease and remove the awareness and the strides that we've made over the last 30 years, then you stand the risk of falling back into a major epidemic.
Yeah.
So I think that we have to continue the fight, continue the information, continue that, because that is what created the change that we're seeing now. You're right in that globally they seem as a more controlled disease, and so maybe less funding, maybe less targeting that area. But while it is for most part, the personal behavior change has to happen in order to really curtail the disease, and health-seeking behaviors have to be more direct in terms of you personally going to the hospital and accessing these services. As Mr. Coyoc said, these things are free, you can get, but it should not be to the point of governments and agencies where we completely negate the population. Right? Yes, there is a personal responsibility, but there is also a national responsibility to provide health care, to provide these services.
No, unfortunately, we're still hearing people are still dying. Believe the reality is, despite the treatment being available, people are still dying. Some of it is because people just don't come and access the medications.
Accessing the service, not coming for the medication and accessing the services too late.
Some of it is because they fear that if you go for the medication, then somebody else knows. So that's a part of the reason why they're not going. And then some people are inconsistent with the medications, which is a whole different risk involved with that. The risk increases tenfold when you begin and you stop. How are you approaching to get people to listen? If you found that you're at that point, because if my memory serves me right, if you go and you get tested, and I think there's some counseling associated with that. You're kind of, so it seems as though that might not be as effective as we want it to be.
What we're doing from the Ministry of Health component, when you come to the clinic, we've had what we call integration, right?
Meaning you come to the clinic, you go into for services like any other person, all right? So you see the doctor orders the medication, orders your blood works. So you go to the pharmacy to pick up your medication like any ordinary person, and you go to the lab like any ordinary person. So there's nowhere in between where this services is happening where you have that stigma or discrimination, that so-called. Hence the reason why I stated the inner stigma is something we need to work on.
So you believe that the system is foolproof, that persons' records are being kept confidential?
Definitely.
They don't have to be apprehensive or concerned about that information being put forward. There is the trust issue. Like, people really believe, like, if, you know, yeah, this person would test me, if I'm positive, he's going to go and tell somebody. There is that fear.
Yeah. And again, that's gonna be there, you know.
If you find, do you check to make, like, if somebody has a complaint, is it something that they can come to the Ministry of Health and say,
definitely,
I feel that this individual has breached my...
Definitely, and that's where the National AIDS Commission comes in, since you're the national response as well. Right?
There's a complaint mechanism, and it takes it out, and we deal with it.
Okay. So, whoa. You're hitting me there with some heavy feedback. Let me ask, is World AIDS Day, how are we going to, what are some of the highlights of this celebration and the day itself in Belize? How will it be marked? I won't use the word celebration, but how will it be marked?
Okay, from our end, we'll be out there doing the testing. So we'll be doing other health components, blood pressure taking, sugar, diabetes testing, and so forth. And then I'll have Mr. Usher talk about what the component that the National AIDS Commission is doing in reference to there'll be an award ceremony for unsung heroes, for people working along that have been in the service for so many years, providing these services to the persons that have been infected. So I'll have him touch a little bit on that, since he's that's his component there.
Right. So So on Friday we'll be at the Battlefield Park. We'll be doing our World AIDS Day programming. As Mr. Coyoc said, one of the major parts of the component this year is the acknowledgement of the Unsung Hero Award. What we did, we scoured the country, basically sent out to all our partners and everybody saying, look, pick the person who is not on the radar, who is not necessarily doing it for pay.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a family member or somebody who has HIV and they've been dealing with them, paying bills, working, taking care of them. Pick that person. Let's honor that person. The award is named from Mr. Narciso Franklin Calais, who is was a part of our national response in PG. He was an unsung hero. He did his job, he did his work, he was a community activist. And so we're honoring him by
naming the award after him.
Right, giving him, his family, an award, as well as naming the award after him. And so that's one component. Then we have the testing, which the Ministry of Health will be doing, free HIV testing. We'll also be having live play-by-play action of our app. We have an infection app, and you can download it for free, so we have people can come and play that app. We also have artists who will be painting World AIDS Day theme artwork live there, and we have some other games going on. So people can come out, enjoy the day. It's from 9 to 3 o'clock, and you have more than enough opportunity to win prizes, to get things going, and all the while learning and getting information about HIV. We do have corporate sponsors and so forth that we thank in terms of partnership with BTL. They'll be giving out some phone cards nationwide. We will be giving out other giveaways to people. Again, it's not necessary to say come out and get an incentive to test. It's more like come out and enjoy the atmosphere, but at the same time, you will be learning information. So again, it's to make the information more palatable to multiple audiences. It's not everybody that can sit down and read a document. You know, sometimes you need more creative means in terms of getting the messaging across. So it's the World AIDS Day, Red Ribbon Solidarity Day, and everybody can come out, enjoy the time, ask questions, get tested, and just learn.
Lisa, Stephen, Frisco. We've done here. Tomorrow morning is going to be Brother Nubi Mohammed. He's going to join you at 6:30. I don't return if I have the health and strength until Monday morning at 6:30. We hope you guys have a great Wednesday. Have a great rest of the week. We salute the crew as always. JCR Zoo at Creme Radio. Upstairs is Mr. Cliff Flores and Christy Flowers. Believers, as always, stand strong, stand firm. For now, we're good.